Hi friends, my name's Jenna. I'm a girl who practically lives out of a suitcase. Recently, I traveled to Europe for their world-renowned Christmas markets, road tripping to 4 brand new countries. In the previous vlog, we stopped off in Bratislava, Slovakia. Today, let's visit easily the best city in Europe for Christmas markets, Vienna, Austria. Come travel with me. After getting into Vienna from Bratislava, we checked into our hotel, and let's just say the artwork was interesting, with lots of little cosplayers. We walked next door to a coffee shop to grab a cup of joe, and then we headed out to the metro system so that we could experience one of the best Christmas markets in all of Europe. I had seen a lot of Christmas markets on this trip, but this building set the best backdrop for a Christmas market. Not to mention, this was the cutest decorated Christmas market. They had a Ferris wheel, they had all kinds of stuff, and it was the first market that I had actually found ornaments. And I mean a lot of ornaments. It was easy to find one for my tree. This market was full of snacks and food galore. There were so many options that it was hard to decide what I wanted. A lot of Christmas markets do a lot of greasy food, but luckily I was able to find a delicious cup of tea and this really interesting ham sandwich. I don't usually like ham, but oh my gosh, I have dreams about this sandwich. Best street food in Europe. So once I had my snack in hand, I just enjoyed the ambiance that was this beautiful Christmas market. There were people ice skating. There was this very interesting thing for the kids. Did you know Vienna is where snow globes were invented? So I had to get one. And then there was this outdoor museum that was very interesting. I love the pedestrian stoplights have 2 people holding hands. I'm traveling solo on this trip, but honestly, I can see Vienna being a beautiful and romantic place. My group ended up taking on the streets of Vienna. We went to a lot of the little hot spots and really cool architectural places. And if there's one thing that Vienna knows how to do well, it's their Christmas lights. While we walked, I spotted this adorable little gingerbread house in the window, and it was the best appetizer to the real thing. This is St. Stephen's Cathedral. This was built in the 1100s and did not get finished until the 1500s. And now you know why, because it is amazing. I didn't get to go inside, but I will on a future trip. We also stopped by Mozart's house in Vienna, and then we went to the bars. This bar is in the Bermuda Triangle of Vienna, and basically people get lost. Luckily, we did not, but we did have a full day to explore Vienna the next day. My group jumped on a bus and headed over to Schoenbrunn Palace. You can't film inside the palace, but I am excited to show you the amazing outdoor areas around the palace. Just outside in the courtyard, there was another Christmas market, and I had this delicious pancake with apricot sauce. It was so good. And then we hopped back on the bus to go look at a few more of the iconic spots in Vienna.
Of the military. These 3 tips. First, pay good salaries. Money is always motivation.
One of the really interesting places that we got to visit was this village created by an artist, and the apartments here are considered expensive, but it's only a quarter of the cost of my rent. I cried many sad tears that made me very hungry, so we went to find a place for lunch, and I got this delicious lentil soup with this dumpling. Yum. And then I headed over to the National Library of Austria. And honestly, I'm not sure why this is not a bigger deal than it is, because it is one of the coolest places I have ever been to. If Belle was from Austria, this would be Beast's Castle Library. It was chock full of so many really old artifacts and books. But even though I was on cloud nine with all those books, I was so impressed with the architecture and art on the ceiling. As I was leaving, I saw these workers shelving books, and I was so jealous that they get to climb these spiral stairs. Next up, I went over to the Albertina Museum. The Albertina is full of many well-known artists, including this one guy from Austria who made some really interesting pop culture pieces that really made you think and maybe felt a little sad. I did find it funny that my home state of Arizona was a part of this art installation next to big names like Michelangelo. A lot of the pieces by Michelangelo and Da Vinci were their early works, and it was really interesting because some of Da Vinci's early works are just scribbles of hands that he obviously messed up, and it just taught me that, you know, people start somewhere. There were also some pieces by Monet and Picasso, and I just found it also very interesting that this museum was not crowded whatsoever. Yet I still think that some of these pieces were more impactful than the more popular pieces of these artists. As it got dark, we headed out to a very famous cafe. Once you walk in, you are immediately greeted by delicious smells. And luckily, I made a few friends and we all went together on a bunch of different coffees and cakes and pastries. So we got to try a little bit of everything, including the famous Sacher Torte. That night we headed to a classical music concert, as you would in the city of music. It was a great way to end my time in Vienna. Thanks for watching. Before heading to the Czech Republic, there is one more city in Austria that we have to visit, known for its delicious wine. Next up on our road trip along the Danube is the city of Krems, Austria.